Mm, Today I'm going to discuss the most important moment of the English literature period, the aesthetic movement. The aesthetic movement denounced the sober morality and middle class value that characterized the Victorian age and embraced beauty as the chief pursuit of both art and life. The movement is often considered to have ended with the Oscar Wilde trial, which began in 1895. The aesthetic movement denounced the sober morality and the middle class value that characterized the Victorian age and embraced the beauty as a chief pursuit of both art and life. The movement is often considered to have ended with the Oscar Wilde trial, which began in 1895. For Kant, the is dash no mere creations for the aesthetic, but it is the subject of the metaphysical inquiry. Sublime, according to the Kant, is the ability to judge an object taste. Poetics is written by the Aristotle. The original meaning of the term aesthetic is related to sense perceptions. The Kant view of aesthetic judgment is presented in his Critique of Judgment. Aesthetic is defined as a philosophy of beauty and art. Who introduced the term aesthetic? D. A. G. The Baum. D. A. G. Baumgarten. Identify the root term of aesthetic. Aesthetic means anything connected with the sense perceptions. Mm, Baumgarten calls the level of knowledge to the sense perception is aesthetica. So these are the most important questions related to the aesthetic movement. Basically, aesthetic movement is denounce the sober morality and middle class values. ठीक है? That characterize the Victorian age and embrace beauty as the chief pursuit of both art and the life. The movement is often considered to have ended with the Oscar Wilde trial, which began in 1895. So these are the most important historical facts which happening in this period, which is called the aesthetic movement. So here we have some questions which is very important for Kant. For Kant, the dash sub यानी कि sublime is no mere creations for its aesthetic, but it is the subject of the metaphysical inquiry. According to the Kant, it is the ability to judge an object taste. Poetic is written by Aristotle. The original meaning of the term aesthetic is the related to sense perception. Kant's view of aesthetic judgment is presented in his Critique of Judgment. Aesthetic is defined as a philosophy of the beauty and art. Who introduced the term aesthetics? D. A. G. Bergson. Identify the root term of the aesthetic aesthesis, and the aesthesis means anything connected with the sense of perception. Bjorkgren calls the levels of the knowledge to the sense perception is called the aesthetica. So I hope you like this video, which is very important according to your examination point of views. So while you are attempting a questions of the long type questions about the aesthetic movement, you have to write this kind of most important point when the aesthetic movement happening and when which kind of most historical facts happening, and you have to write about the sober morality, you have to write about the middle class values, and that characterize the Victorian age and embrace the beauty as a chief pursuit of both an art and life. So these are the most important point. The movement is often considered to have ended with the Oscar Wilde trial, which is began in the 1895. So these are the most important questions and most important point, and these are the most important questions while you are attempting MCQs objective type questions. So you have to remember these kind of questions I have discussed with you. Like the for the Kant is no mere creation for the aesthetic, but it is the subject of metaphysical inquiry. Sublime. According to the Kant, it is the ability to judge an object taste. Poetics is written by the Aristotle, and the original meaning of the term aesthetic is the related to a sense of perception. So, the Kant view of the aesthetic judgment is presented in his Critique of Judgment. Aesthetic is defined as a philosophy of the beauty and art. So I hope you like this video. Thank you so much.